Welcome to another episode of DraftKings Fantasy Soccer on the Jamie Hinks Fantasy Football channel. Today, it's a transfer deadline day special. Well, a post-transfer deadline day special. Whilst I was busy watching Palace win down at Bournemouth last night, plenty of deals were going through in the Premier League. There was chairman on their phone at the grounds, all sorts. So what I'm going to do today is go through some of the signings that you may not have come across before that have all arrived in the Premier League over the last couple of days. I've got three that I'll be going through, and then my good friend, Italian football expert Edo Dalmonte will be joining me later on to talk through three players that are going to make a big splash from Serie A in the Premier League. So the first guy I'm going to look at is a real fantasy favourite of seasons gone by, Robbie Brady, back in the Premier League, back to score you loads and loads and loads of fantasy points with all his crossing for your fantasy football lineup. Robbie Brady, of course, last season at Norwich, he was third in the entire Premier League for crosses with 243 for the whole season. Regularly got double-digit points in DraftKings Fantasy Football. I used to love picking Robbie Brady. If you watched any of my videos from last season, you'll remember that I always insisted on having him in my team in the Premier League last year. 36 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. Good little return there, but also Euro 2016, he was scored 2 goals, and in that tournament he had 1.8 shots per game, 1.8 tackles, 1 per game, 6.8 crosses per game. That final stat is what you're going to get from Brady. It's what Burnley fans are going to start to really enjoy. You can see him getting those free kicks into the area there for the likes of Sam Vokes, and also their defenders get him on the corners, share them with Johan Berg Goodmanson. Get the balls into the likes of Michael Keane, Ben Mee. They're going to get more goals. I think now Burnley pretty much safe. They've only really got a win, I think. I think they're on 29 points now. I think they've got a win, possibly 4 more games, and they're definitely safe. 3 more games, possibly get you safe as well. But yeah, Robbie Brady, look out for him this weekend. You can expect him to be priced between sort of $6,000 and $7,000 on DraftKings. And I think get him in your lineups as soon as possible. So secondly, you're going to notice a common theme here because the second player I've decided to have a look at is Kamil Grosicki. I think it's Grosicki of Hull City. He's now at. He's obviously, a lot of you will remember playing with him for Poland in the Euros on DraftKings, but he's now in the Premier League. Probably quite a big money signing there from Rennes in France, but he's another one who's a winger. He's going to fill that void left by Robert Snodgrass, who's of course gone to West Ham now. You're going to get a lot of crosses from him. 6.4 crosses per game so far this season for Rennes. 4 goals, 3 assists, 1.9 shots per game for that team. Last season, 9 goals, 3 assists. So he's chipping in across both categories, which gives you a good lot of performance there. You don't just have to rely on goals. You don't have to just rely on assists. And of course, you'll get the crosses too. Doesn't really make many tackles. So comparing him to Brady, I don't think he's as valuable just because he's not going to get the tackles or interceptions that Brady is. But Grosicki, that slight bit more attacking, get down to the byline, whip the crosses in, and Abel Hernandez, he can get on the end of them. The Hull fans will be very happy, and you'll be happy if you stack them. I don't know whether anyone has ever stacked a Hull, done a Hull stack, but create a bit of differentiation, contrary picks. But yeah, that's Kamil Grosicki for you. So the last one is one close to me. It's Luka Milivojevic, who Crystal Palace have signed to be that central midfielder destroyer that they missed since getting rid of Mile Jednak in the summer. Milivojevic arrives from Olympiacos with a fairly good reputation. I mean, I hadn't really heard of him until earlier on this week, I do have to admit. But he's got a reputation as a tough tackling midfielder. He gives away a lot of fouls, but also makes a lot of tackles. This season in the Europa League, 1.3 tackles, 1 per game, which isn't great. But if you look back at the last few seasons, he's consistently been hovering between 2 and 3 tackles per game. So you're going to get some points there. But also, interestingly for Milivojevic, that you don't usually get with a defensive midfielder, he actually scores goals. In 17 games this season, he's had 6 goals and 1 assist for his club side in the Greek Super League, which is pretty good if you ask me, and something that will give you that little bit of differentiation in contests. I could see him being priced at sub $5,000 at first because I just can't see him generating enough points to make the people making the salaries change it any differently. But yeah, I'm very excited about him just because it gives us a bit of a presence in central midfield for Palace. And the good thing about this is that it will free the likes of Johan Cabaye, Jason Puncheon, James McArthur to attack a little bit more. And I think that's important when picking those guys in your lineups because it will give you that little bit or a little bit more, shall we say, just more assists and more goals from them three because they're not going to have to be defending as much. Now I'm going to be chatting to Edo Dalmonte, who works for calciomercato.com, where he's the editor and also used to do DraftKings videos with me, so you will recognise his voice. I've actually only got him on the phone, so he'll be going through Manolo Gabbiadini, Andrea Ranocchia, Niang, who signed for Watford, and also Molla Wague, who I have no idea who he is, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Edo's got to say. So next up, we'll have Edo on the phone. Right, guys, welcome back to the DraftKings Fantasy Soccer Show. I've got Edo Dalmonte here, my Italian expert friend and a guy you probably remember from when I used to do videos for DraftKings. Hi, Edo.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thank you very much. So we're going to chat about some of these Serie A players that have moved over to the Premier League. So the one I want to kick off with is Manolo Gabbiadini. Is he going to solve Southampton's scoring problems?
Yes and no. Let's put it this way. He kind of does what a lot of the other sort of attacking midfielders do, especially Buffal, which is, he's really good on the wing. He was at his best at Sampdoria, cutting in from the right and taking like powerful shots with that left foot of his. So he can play as a centre forward, but he tends to work a lot as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Puel can do with him. That said, Puel at Nice, for example, used guys who weren't necessarily centre forwards, like Player, like Germain, like Ben Arfa. So you'd assume he could do the same with Gabbiadini, but he's definitely not a guy who just goes in and scores goals like Vieri style. I would probably say that.
Okay, so is he? Because they've struggled a lot. They're actually the fourth lowest scorers in the Premier League this season, and since Austin's gone down, they've not really scored a hell of a lot of goals. So is he kind of a new Shane Long? I don't want to put him down too much, but
no, because he's our hero. Remember, our DraftKings hero, or Ty's hero anyway. No, he's more technical. He hustles a lot. Talk in Italy about his defensive contribution could be better. That was one of the reasons why Sarri allegedly would play Callejon ahead of him at Napoli when Higuain was still in the middle, so that was out of the question. And Gabbiadini on the right didn't get a heck of a lot of playing time because of Callejon, who was better all round. Mm-hmm. But no, he's probably more dangerous than most of those guys, except for Buffal.
Yeah.
Tadic really isn't scoring a heck of a lot right now. It's more his confidence I worry about, because that really dipped at Napoli. And that's problematic, because when he was behind Higuain, he was playing well with the time he was given. It got problematic when, Higuain out, Milik in. Gabbiadini's shoulders just dropped. Didn't really put up much of a good fight for the starting job, which Milik won. And then when Milik goes down to an ACL injury, you think, right, now's your time, boy. And instead, nothing. Scored 3 goals, didn't really play well. Napoli decided to play without a striker, put Mertens in the middle, and that's worked out really well for them. So the potential for a new Zaza, unfortunately, is there. Even though I'm a big fan of Gabbiadini's, I worry.
Oh wow!
I really worry.
So this is another one. I hope these aren't going to be all new Zazas, but Niang from Milan to Watford's a really interesting one. Already got his first assist last night against Arsenal, of course. But is he the real deal, or is he another Balotelli at Liverpool, or is he the real deal, this guy?
You worry about him because obviously that world famous story where he got caught driving without a license, which apparently happened a few times, by the way. I only found this out recently. If I'm not mistaken, this happened 4 or 5 times in Italy and kept getting away with it.
Who's this Niang?
Police station. I'm pretty sure this is him. Also, he got caught and pretended he was one of his teammates in his first days at Milan, which was bad enough. And if I'm not mistaken, he also got caught doing this at Genoa when he went on loan and was really good. So the off-the-field stuff is not as, shall we say, not as showboaty as the Balotelli stuff, but it was enough for Milan to lose confidence in him and go and look for a guy who'd never played in Serie A before, that's Deulofeu of Everton, to replace him because he fell out of favour. And that's the problem, because he started the season really well. He played well the season before he got into another car accident, although that was probably not his fault because it was his driver and he aquaplaned. But I know, aquaplaning. I rediscovered that word thanks to Niang. But when he went down and Milan went down after. So in terms of talent, he's the best of all these Italian Serie A players who've come to the Premier League, because he doesn't have a talent to really be special, but you wonder about what's going on inside that head of his.
So, like, where do you think he'd kind of, if looking at it from DraftKings perspective, where do you think he's going to be picking up points? Is he going to be shooting, crossing? Is he a wide forward or is he more of a centre forward?
No, he's more of a wide forward, so he'll give you points in dribbling as well. Crossing is pretty decent. Shots on goal pretty decent. And yeah, like he had really good bursts at Milan. So I believe he got 5 goals last season. There was one stage where he was almost carrying the team. He had assists, he had goals, he was looking good. Then he sort of dipped. So he's the right kind of guy to pick up at DraftKings at some stage when he'll be like, I don't know, 6,000, something beneath that. I haven't checked the prices recently. And then after a bit, when the price goes up, maybe that's time to dump him because I'm not sure if he's ready yet.
Yeah,
So
that's the time to get.
Still only 22, I'm pretty sure as well. I'm pretty sure I think he just turned 22.
Yeah, I mean, I always remember him on FIFA on Ultimate Team because his pace was incredibly high. But that's really all I know about him. But going to the other end of the pitch, Hull have made a lot of moves in this transfer window, and like I was interested to see they got Ranocchia off Inter yesterday. I mean, is he good enough defensively to like carry this defense? And I mean, I don't think they're going to stay. I don't think they've got a chance of staying up. But is he good enough to keep them up?
I worry about him really because he has the physical tools to do it, but he's not the slowest either. He can actually be deceptively quick. His problem is positioning and confidence. My issue with him is that there was a stage where he played at Bari with Leonardo Bonucci. Bonucci went on to great fame, but at the time, many people, myself included, thought that Ranocchia had more potential. And how's that turned out? Like he's, lost starting job at Inter, has really not done much for a couple of seasons. When he was playing, he was making loads of mistakes. And I kind of wonder, Hull City's big issue may not even be centre back. It's Curtis Davis has been doing all right. Yeah, I kind of wonder. I wonder whether if he gets a run of games, we'll see. But yeah, I really worry about him because his confidence seems to just drop off. I think one of the issues with Inter was that when he got his first starting season, he was basically just shoved into the sort of leadership role for doing pretty well for half the season. Walter Samuel got injured, so he had no one to cover for him, and he was defending in the middle with Juan Jesus, 2 young guys who had potential, but the confidence just got knocked out of him, basically, and he's never really recovered. And he was very iffy about moving away from Italy.
Yeah.
There was that as well. So I think I really thought Watford would be the winning bid because of Mazzari. He worked under Mazzari at Inter, but it's a tough one, and I would tend to be rather negative about him because he's one of the most reveled Inter players of the last few years. And it's not entirely his fault because the team used to be a joke, but yeah, he's carrying a lot of baggage with him, and you do wonder if he can shake it all off.
Yeah, I'm not going to be touching him with a barge pole after you've just said all of that now.
For DraftKings purposes, especially because he doesn't really score that much either.
No, I think he's
won't be clean sheets. So Watford clean sheets, not such a terrible call a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Play them at home. They'll play to the opposition's level. But no, Hull City, no way. maybe some home games. I don't know, but it's tenuous at best.
So like the final guy is this. I don't know. We talked about him a little bit before this call, but Molla Wague. Who is he?
He's Malian. He's not super young anymore. I believe he's reaching age 23, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, looked decent for a while for Udinese, but kind of he's one of those guys who was in Granada's orbit. And if I'm not mistaken, Granada still own him. Obviously, it's all the same owners. It's the Pozzo family who also have Watford. But his problem is that he's only played 6 games this season, and I'm pretty sure he's not been injured. So you wonder why only 6 Serie A games. Like Herto is the right back, Widmer is the right back. So you go, fair enough, he can play in the middle and as a right back. So you think, well, okay, if Herto is ahead of him, if Widmer, who's a really talented player, is ahead of him, no problem there. But the centre-backs are getting quite old, and you wonder why he hasn't had more playing time, and it's probably down to him. So I'd be quite iffy about him too, to be very, very honest. I'm reviewing these guys very poorly, but I don't know. These feel not like the kind of bargain buys the Premier League tries to sort of pull off very often because they come from continental Europe, not going to cost you that much. And if they were to turn out to be half decent, then you've done well. But talking about it from a Newcastle perspective, this is a lot more Marvo than it is Kufron, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a heck of a lot, and I kind of worry.
But yeah, anyway, thanks a lot, Edo, for all of that insight. That's absolutely excellent. I'm sure the viewers will love what you had to say about Gabbiadini especially and Niang, because I think they're the kind of players that people are targeting. And thank you very much.
My pleasure, man. Good luck with everything, and catch you soon.
Yeah, cheers, man.
So, guys, that brings to an end another episode of the DraftKings Fantasy Soccer Show here on the Jamie Hinks Fantasy Football channel. As always, give it a thumbs up below if you like the video. There'll be obviously a picks video coming on later on in the week where you can see just how badly my team did on Tuesday night. It was not good, not pretty, I have to tell you. I played one of my mates in a head-to-head who I went to the game with, and he roundly beat me. But yeah, hoping for better luck this weekend. If you like the content, give us a comment as well. I like reading all of those. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified when there's more content coming up. And thank you very much for watching, and goodbye and good luck this weekend.